This is gritty, gritty, gritty. This is real. This is our space. Confessions of a Creative. Confessions of a Creative. Confessions of a Creative. Welcome back to Confessions of a Creative. My name is Dee, and this is where we discuss the unique journey of creative entrepreneurs. Okay, so this week we have an amazing guest. I am so excited to welcome Krisnan Hurdle. He is the lead therapist and life coach of Insight Consulting and a certified clinical hypnotherapist. He is a former fellow of the International Board of Hypnotherapy, which is based in the USA, and a CBT therapist. He is a master practitioner of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, as well as a certified Tony Robbins Life Coach. His mission is to help people live more balanced lives by taking control of their thoughts, emotions, and behavior. And he believes that people have the power to change their mindset and lead positive and meaningful lives. So, with all that being said, I'm sure I don't need to explain to you the importance of getting your mind right, especially at a time like this that is so volatile. So without further ado, we would love to welcome Mr. Krisnan Hurdle to our podcast, and let's get right on into this. Okay, so today we have, as mentioned before, Mr. Krisnan Hurdle, and we're so excited to have you here. Welcome to Confessions of a Creative, Krisnan.
Thank you, Deirdre, and thank you for joining us, all listeners.
Yes. Okay, so basically, first of all, I just want you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, so I've been in this work, I do personal development and mental conditioning. It started from my own process of my own journey, personal development journey. But when I work with clients, I do a lot of work with helping them to overcome different blocks, whether they may be emotional blocks, mindset blocks, communication within themselves and communication with others, and also things like just achieving their potential and developing strategies to reach their goals.
Right. Okay. Now, first of all, I just want to say I think that's amazing. And I want to let you guys know I have absolutely had a session with Krisnan, and it was really, really life-changing for me at that point in time. I cannot say that enough. I'm a huge advocate because do you find specifically, well, I don't know if it's specific to the Caribbean, but do you find that it's still a little taboo for people to have, let's say, psychiatrists or psychologists or what people call shrinks or seek help with professionals pertaining to your mental health? Do you find that still taboo here?
Yeah, it's definitely still frowned upon. People see it as, for the most part, you're mad, or there's the idea of the connotation of there's something wrong with you. It's okay if there's something wrong with you and you're going to see the physician, the doctor. But if there's something wrong with you and it is to do with your mind, then there's some negative feeling about that. And fortunately, I've come on the scene at a time where mental health is getting a lot more promotion and advocacy.
Yes.
But I also do find that people keep saying, even doctors that refer patients to me keep saying, people don't make enough, see mental health as a great enough priority, and they don't make enough intention to get help with mental or emotional related problems.
I agree with you. I think that is so true. And I am thankful that I've not been, raised in a space where it's not okay to talk about your feelings and to acknowledge them and for it to be okay. But then you must be able to, at some point, be like, what am I going to do about this? And not just stay there and burrow.
Yeah.
But I was saying I had a session with you and it was amazing. It helped me to unblock a lot of creative blocks I was having, because at that time I was going through a quite emotional time, guys. Just giving you some disclosure here, but that's fine. But I sought out Krisnan's help, and the session was great, and I was able to really advance so much. And just actually on the cusp of this whole COVID-19 thing, I think it really put me into a position to be able to work on myself and have the strength to navigate this time with some semblance of, optimism, I would
Yeah.
say.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. But what influenced your choice in this career?
Well, it's a long story, but to cut it short, I wasn't very happy with was going through some different changes, some crossroads in my personal life, and there are some things I wasn't happy about. And I started a journey of self-discovery. And
Okay.
on that journey, I discovered information on hypnosis, life coaching, and different other types of self-help activities. And I recognized, because my main focus initially was helping people to deal with trauma. After I
Right.
have been following a guy that does um, coaching slash counseling, dealing with people who've been through trauma. So my initial reason for getting involved in it was helping people to overcome or manage trauma. But then I realized that there was so much more, especially with hypnotherapy and hypnosis, that you could do.
Right.
And I also proceeded to do my life coaching certification, which I did with Tony Robbins. But the crux of the matter is that it started from a personal journey, a personal development journey, and it has really ballooned into a really fulfilling career. I'm going almost 5 years into it now, and I am really loving it. And I've actually taken the next step where I am currently in Wales doing my master's in psychology. So I'm going all the way as a mental health professional.
That's fantastic. And I'm so happy for you that you were able to follow like a calling that really meant something for you, because that also translates to how you relate to and deal with your clients.
For sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, where it comes to specifically creative entrepreneurs, have you had much experience dealing with creatives?
Yeah, I've worked with a handful of them. I've worked with notably Lord Zen, and I've done some interviews with him. I've worked with a
Cool.
couple other um, I've worked with a couple other creatives, but also professionals and entrepreneurs who
Yes.
who require creativity to make their business successful. And so I guess that expands the client. That would be an extension of the clientele who are quote unquote creatives. But in terms of like performers, I work with a few performing artists. I've also worked with, as I mentioned, entrepreneurs, and I've worked with proper creatives, people who have to be creating content to produce what they do.
That's awesome. So from your experience, um, I was going to ask you, how much does mindset matter for creative entrepreneurs, especially? I always want to be very clear. I'm never discounting um, other professions or other people who operate in, the way that's best for them, but specifically for the creative, is it a little more, I don't want to use the word important, but it's a little more crucial for the creative entrepreneur to be in a certain mind space?
Most definitely. In addition to the regular factors which other entrepreneurs and business people deal with, like failure, rebounding from failure, disappointments, and because failure is a big part of business and a big part of life. In
True.
addition to some of those things, how to program and condition your mind to capitalize, but also to not allow those situations to overwhelm you.
Mhm.
Creatives also have to be in a space where they, because it is the core of their work, where they are producing and where they are able to to come up with ideas and come up with content. So it's even doubly more important for them to be in a mental space which allows them, whether they're writing songs or art or doing any other type of creative business, creating graphics or whatever. Your business is quite different as well. So providing services, event planning,
Mhm.
these are things that really require the person to be open to new ideas, but also to have a mind that is clutter free. And that's very important. Being free of clutter and being free of blocks. Because when blocks get in the way, emotional blocks, failures, disappointments, stuff not going well in your personal life or business not going well, especially in times like COVID, then it
Yes.
creates a challenge, it creates a tension which opposes creativity.
That's true. And like for me as a creative, I can attest to that. You literally, well, for me, I literally felt like I was suffocating.
Mm.
It was the most horrible feeling to not have, because you feel the contrast, when you're in a state of flow, when you're coming up with different ideas. And it's so funny how it happens for us. Like you could just be driving down the street, going to the supermarket or pay a bill or what have you, and you see something, or you might even smell get a certain smell, anything. It's very like sensory. We
Yeah,
respond to sensory stimuli a lot. So, and then you just get this amazing idea and you're like, wow. But when you're in that slump or that you have that block, it feels like you're in a very dark place, but it feels so stifling and so uncomfortable.
yeah.
In my mind, why would you want to sit with that? That's why I always advocate, if you're in that kind of space, it's in it honestly, it's the best investment to just book a session with somebody and get help and get those tools to bring yourself out of that space.
I think, and the space you're speaking of is a lot like what we refer to as, generally speaking, everyday language as depression. You're in a dark
Right.
place, you're in a slump, you feel like the doors are closing in on you, the walls are closing in on you, you're down in a hole. And in that place, that is where you definitely need the opposite. You need a light. You need something which will elevate you. But most importantly, you need a sense of clarity. And most of the time, when you're in that place, seeing it from your mindset doesn't help. Oftentimes, you need an external entity, an external someone else to help you
Yeah.
to provide the third perspective or the outside perspective. It's like when you're playing checkers or chess on a board. Many times when you're in the game, it's more difficult to see the possible moves than when you're an outside entity, outside party looking in. And that's what getting help does. It provides another perspective which illuminates the way and provides opportunities, perspective.
That is very, very true. I just love how you really explained that just now, because I don't want people to feel like it's some kind of, like you just have a session and it's perfect, or you take a magic pill and you're good. It really does. And we spoke a little bit about this before, about it really is about also doing the work. Because from my personal experience with you, you gave me tools to be able to ground myself. So if I felt myself going into a dark place, you taught me techniques in which I can employ that help to ground me, make me be a little more objective. And when you have that objectivity, then you can start to see the light and make your way out of,
Yeah,
whatever slump you're in.
definitely.
So the
And
work, you have to do the work.
yeah, you definitely have to do the work and you have to be willing to do the work. And many times, well, sometimes, especially where I came from personally, from a place where it was really hard because when you have stuff in the background, when you have stuff in the closet, that you're avoiding, that you don't want to deal with, I call them soft spots. When you've got
Wow.
soft spots that are difficult to deal with, then it creates challenges for working with someone else. And the willingness to just go bare before, well, of course, having established trust and rapport with another person, with a professional who can
Right.
help you to use tools which are maybe scientifically based, evidence based, and proven effective and efficacious, so that they can, you just follow what they ask you to do. You lay bare at their feet, and you just follow the directions, because the strategies, the power is in the strategies, and the strategies are what makes it work. And despite different situations that come to me, I'm able to help people to break through because the strategies are powerful.
It's true. And I can attest to that. It's so true. Um, so I want to ask you another question. I can't remember if we covered this. I don't think we did, but what is your absolute favorite part of your job?
Oh, when a client, I love two parts actually.
Mhm.
I like when the client comes first and I can see where they're at and where I'm going to take them. It's actually like an artist. I can actually see
Ah,
where I'm going to take them. And then I like, well, at that first part, I'm telling them, well, you will, your life will so transform that you will be in X or Y place, and you'll be saying, I didn't imagine I can get there. And I have this conversation with so many of my clients. It's amazing. And then
mm,
whether it is a month or a year or a couple, whatever the length of time is, then they come back and say, yes, I couldn't imagine it. And now I'm seeing the breakthrough. Now I'm seeing the turnaround. And you said it was going to be this way. And that is really, really satisfying for me. Having them say,
that is awesome.
I couldn't see it, but you helped me to get there, and now I'm here.
That's awesome. That sounds like that touched me. I love that. I love that because, like, when with one of my ventures, the makeup artistry, it's kind of like that. Well, with the education part, clients will come and they'll say, "Oh, I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm hopeless, but I'm just coming to a class." And when they're done and they're actually doing it on their own and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't think I could. So
Mm.
I can kind of relate to what you're saying, but yours is definitely on a much deeper level for sure.
Mm.
So our last question we want to ask you, can you give us like one tip or one piece of advice that can help us like reset our thinking or overcome a creative block? Could be just one piece of advice.
Reset your thinking and overcome a creative block.
Yes.
It starts with stepping back. Many times, in the midst of clutter, we struggle to find the answers because we are as I mentioned before, we're in the game. We're in the game, we're behind the board. And if you can step back and declutter and get some distance from the conflict as much as possible, then that will bring a space and a quietness which allows you to, you may not get your solution, but it gives you options so you know what options you have. And that is very important. That's very, in itself, that's very powerful.
That is so true. When you step back, you get that perspective.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview. I am so excited to get this out there and for everybody to listen. I know it's honestly, there's some invaluable information in here. And I want to encourage anybody who may need help with their mindset, with their mental health, emotional health. You need to book a session with Mr. Hurdle. You will not regret it. I promise you.
Thank you very
But
much.
thank you so much, Krisnan. And I hope
Yeah,
you have a wonderful day.
it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. And as I mentioned, I'm just finishing off my master's degree, so I'll be back in Barbados shortly, having completed my master's. And maybe many will view this episode after I have already um, registered, completed and registered. So I'm definitely open to all of you. Life coaching, hypnotherapy, and clinical psychology.
Amazing. I'm going to make sure and have all of your info, like your contact info, in the description part of this video. So you guys can just scroll down and you will see how you can get in contact with Krisnan Hurdle. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this segment, and know that I am sending you so much love, and we will talk soon. Bye.